Hi Gemini, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Gemini, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Fool card. New energy is making its way into your life this week, and do you know what, I've just got this just in on the intuitive level. I've just been told that this week, Gemini, you're going to have a really big or really great idea. It's likely to come fully formed. It's going to come really quick in a flash. So my advice to you is this week, keep a pen and paper handy or keep your phone handy so that you can put a voice note down. As soon as this idea comes in, get it down on paper or get it onto a voice note, because as quick as it comes in is probably as quick as it's going to disappear as well. So be open to that this week. You could be having some amazing downloads, some big insight or some big light bulb moment. Now with this card as well, I often say to people, it's new things, new places, new people, new energies making their way or making themselves present in your life in some way, shape or form. This is really exciting, right? I love the Fool card because it's pure potential. It's a moment of absolute conception. It's that before anything is even put into or thought or all of that, right? It's just pure potential, pure power there for the shaping or the taking. So this is really exciting. So quick note, as you've probably seen, I have put out the trailers for my 2022 readings. They are bigger and better than they've ever been before. Each one, I think the least, like at last count, I think the shortest one was like an hour and 45 minutes. So they're well over 90 minutes each. I've put my heart and soul into these. I worked really hard on them with lots of stuff going on in the background, as always. And so this year, it's like the 5th year that I'm doing them. I have decided to charge, and I really hope, I apologize to those of you that are disappointed about this. I have made them as cheap as possible so that they're totally accessible to everybody, wherever you are. So you can get one for your sun or your ascendant if you choose for $4.99. You can get 3, so if you want to get your sun, moon and ascendant for $12.97, or you can get all 12 as a bundle for $24.99. So they're totally accessible for everybody. I just want to say a massive thank you so much to all of you for all of your support throughout this year. It means the absolute world, and for those of you that purchase, even more so, you have my heart. Thank you for supporting my channel. It really does mean a lot. So with that said, let's get back to your week ahead. For your actions and options this week, you have the 3 of Swords coupled with the Fool card, right? So there's a few ways this could play out, but one of them is this week, it looks like a lot of you, and maybe this is in regards to this new idea that comes in. This week, it looks like you're putting a stopper on something, or you're removing something from your life. For some of you, this could be a friendship. For some of you, it could be a job. For some of you, it could be a partnership. It's like this week you're saying to yourself, this has to go so that I can make way or make space for this new or next thing that's coming into my life. It's a moment of pure honesty that you're having with yourself this week, Gemini. And I think in a lot of ways, there could be a lot of advancement that comes out of this. The reason I say this is that 3 of Swords is something being removed, but then you've got the Fool card here as well. For some of you, this could be a project that you have absolutely loved into being, and now you're like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't move ahead with it. It's not right. Maybe this is something that you've wanted to start or wanted to initiate, and now you're like, you know what? I know that this is the moment to end this, to let this go, to release this. It's like you're being very honest and very conscious with yourself in order to really step ahead in a big way. And maybe this is because you're clearing the path for whatever this brilliant insight, download, idea, project is that's coming to you. It's like, you know, on a soul level, in order to move forward with this, I'm going to have to let go of that. For your communications and conversations, you have the Death card, right? So we have to talk about it. It's here, so we have to talk about it. One way that this could show up, now interestingly enough, this could be news of a death that reaches you. We just have to be honest about what we're seeing, right? The really interesting thing is I don't feel like this is necessarily somebody that's very close to you, but it is somebody that maybe once upon a time you cared for. Maybe this is somebody that maybe you dated, 5-10 years ago. Maybe it's an extended family member's spouse. This is news of a death that hits, but it's not like you personally. Now, because it's underneath the Fool card, it's likely that this will come as a surprise. It's almost like it's quick, right? And it's like there's no drawn out process behind it. It's just like, wow, okay, this has happened. I have to process, and now I know it. Now, on another level, because this is in your communications, this could be you shutting down some sort of communication. Maybe an old friend, an old partner, an old lover, an old colleague, an old boss tries to get in touch with you, and you're just like, you know what? No, I'm not having it. What I find really intriguing about this as well, for those of you that are employed, this is like, that there's something else out there for you, and so therefore you're having to let this current job go. Now, I'm not suggesting that all of you just suddenly get up from your desk and walk out. This could be, maybe it's just a really small moment where you say to yourself, do you know what? I think my time here is done. And so you start to look for something new. And because you've got the Fool card, it may develop really, really quickly for you. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, I mean, in a lot of ways, this could literally be you saying, you know what? I wanted to take my business down that route, but actually, no, I know it's not right for me anymore. This, in a lot of ways, could see you, and as an example, maybe for some of you, you decide to move your business completely online. And so you're like, okay, initially, I'm going to lose, almost half of my clientele, but I know this is the right thing to do for my business. It's like whatever change you decide to implement from this week onward, there are going to be immediate repercussions, but in the long term, it's like, that this is heading towards great results. And then finally, for those of you that are retired or no longer working, it could be an old colleague, it could be a friend, it could be somebody that you once upon a time spent a lot of time with. It could be, for a select few of you, it may be somebody that you really care about. The reason I say this is because you've got the Three of Swords there in the actions and options, which means you are going to feel this in the heart space. And it does suggest, because of that Fool energy, it's almost like this comes almost like out of the blue. Do you know what I mean? Like you just won't be expecting it. For your love and relations, you have the Page of Pentacles, right? So there is something here that I do need to talk about. There's a lot of young or youthful energy in this, because you've got the Fool and the Page of Pentacles. And the first thing that I want to say is, for those of you that have just started relationships or just got into something new, it literally could be that you this week kind of look at this person and say, actually, you know what? It was a nice idea, but we're just not compatible. It's just not us, right? Still love you, still care about you. I think we could be amazing friends, but that's as far as it's going to go. It could be for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments. This week you could be saying, right, we understand now that there's something about this relationship that actually needs to change on the practical level. Maybe one of the partners is not working and now needs to go out to work. Maybe one of you has a financial challenge with or to the job, and so the other partner is now having to really step up to the plate. If they're not already. There's something about this that suggests that something's going to have to come back into more balance this week, and it really does have what I would call real world implications about finances, about resources, about all of those kinds of things. And then when it comes to the those of you that are single, Really weird. You know, they always say that the thing that you say you don't want or need at the time is always the thing that shows up for you. For those of you that are single, it looks like you're in a space where you're not really wanting or needing to date, and even still somebody shows up for you, and you could be kind of saying to yourself, do you know what, like, why is this happening now? That's the way that the universe has ordained it, right? For your money and materials, you've got the Page of Swords, right? So you've got 2 pages here. This is the energy of disquiet. I'm really sorry to say, my dear Geminis, but this week do expect disruptions, right? The 2 pages, when we talk about the energy of disquiet, this is usually a lot of hearsay, he said, she said. You've got the Page of Swords right underneath the Death card. My biggest piece of advice to you this week, especially when it comes to your money, your finances and your resources, don't believe everything that you hear. The knowledge or the information that you'll be presented with this week, there are holes in it, and you being a Gemini, you'll be able to spot this. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I mean, this for me is a very Geminian card. So it's all the parts of the body that you rule, right? So your windpipe, where your windpipe splits to go into your lungs, your hands, your fingers, your upper extremities and upper airways. You've got to look after all of these things this week, all right? And then when it comes to your home, just because you've got the Death card and the Fool card here, this is surprise information that shows up that could throw a real spanner in the works of some of your plans. I will say this, expect the home front this week to be quite rocky, all right? And as long as you know that now, you're prepared and you're aware. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Please look after yourselves this week. Be prepared for intensity and ride it out like the boss that you are. Take care. I'll see you soon.